Next group we'll hear from is from Region 1, who have truly demonstrated how you can work together to reach beyond, because they brought 5 churches together to empower the laity in their congregations to work on community ministries. So please welcome Amanda Kotval and the Reverend Connor Newlun to share that story.
Good morning. Thank you, Buck. As was mentioned, I'm the Reverend Connor Newlun. I'm the Assistant Rector at Aquia Episcopal Church in Stafford. And Amanda and I are very honored to have been asked here to share a little bit about the collaborative ministry that we've started in Region 1. And the actual ministry is taking morning prayer services into nursing homes and retirement communities in the Fredericksburg area. And the title that's been given is Lay Initiative and Community Collaboration. And this really is a lay-led and lay-driven ministry. Worship leaders have been trained to help residents who may be isolated from their church communities or who may not have a church community to worship the Lord. And so it really is about lay folks taking the Lord to people who may not know Him or may be isolated from Him. And it's about collaboration because we've got 5 different churches involved. 5 different parishes from our region have all actively engaged with this ministry, both lay leaders and the rectors and interim rectors in those parishes. So I just want to take a minute and thank those rectors that lended us their support along the way. Kent Rahm at Trinity Fredericksburg, Jeff Packard at Christ Church Spotsylvania, Jay Morris at Aquia Church Stafford, Brian Turner at St. Paul's King George, and Tom Hayes at Messiah Fredericksburg. So a big thank you to all of them. Now, I get to be up here because this ministry needed a priest to step up and get involved along the way, so I get some residual credit for what really is a lay ministry. And since I'm up here, I'm going to take just a minute and share how this ministry has changed my perspective on mission from the start to the finish. So how I got involved was this summer I was repenting my lack of involvement in the wider community in Stafford. And I started to search around and grope around for a way to remedy this perceived fault. And as I looked out into the community, the task became daunting because it just seemed so big. There were so many people who didn't know the Lord. There were so many opportunities for evangelism. There were so many people in need. And there were so many opportunities for outreach. So how to possibly narrow it down, and then once I did, how to find the energy and the people to help me to see it through to the end. And then the Lord brought something to my mind, something that Kent Rahm had said in Clericus maybe 9 months before. He had mentioned a parishioner who was trying to get morning prayer services started in nursing homes. And there it was, right on a silver platter, the answer to what I had been in search of. What could be better than this, than helping people to worship the Lord? So I gave Kent a call, and that really got the ball rolling. And now here we are. Now we've got 5 different parishes involved and actively engaged in taking morning prayer services at least once a week into nursing homes. And now when I look out at the mission field, what had seemed so big, too big for one person or even one church, seems like a mission field that has enough room in it for all of us. And so much room that when we partner and when we work together and share spiritual resources and strengthen each other, we're all better for it. So without further ado, here's Amanda.
Thanks, Connor. Hi, I'm Amanda Kotval. I'm from Trinity Fredericksburg. And 2 important events in my life really brought me to this ministry. The first was the passing of my grandmother. We had been very close, and she became ill very quickly and died 3 days later. And by the sheer grace of God, I was able to be with her when she passed. It was a really enlightening experience for me, and I came away from it with what felt like a calling to spend more time with people like her, people of her generation. The second event was that we were getting ready to send our youngest off to kindergarten. And as a stay-home parent, I knew I was going to have some extra time in my life, and I wanted to do some volunteer work out in the community, but I didn't know where to get started. So I went to go see our rector at Trinity, Kent Rahm, and the conversation that we had basically gave form to this idea, to this ministry, to have teams of lay people from different churches working together to take worship into the community, into the nursing homes and retirement facilities in the area. So Kent was gracious enough to present it to Clericus, and 9 months later, we got a call from Connor, and last summer, Connor and I worked on putting together the plan for recruiting, for training, and then for getting into all of the facilities that we're in now. So probably the very first sign that we had that this was really going to be something really special came during the recruiting phase. We put the word out to 5 different churches, and in almost no time, we had tons of interest. We ended up with 15 people from 5 different churches who were all willing to go through 20 hours of training to get these lay worship leader licenses and to take the worship out into the community. So that was really impressive. And we have the most amazing group of people, too. We've got men and women. We've got working folks and retired folks, black folks and white folks. We've got older people and younger people, people who are very experienced in the Episcopal Church, and people like myself who are a little less experienced in the Episcopal Church. So it's really been amazing to see all of us kind of come together to form this one cohesive team with different motivations and inspirations for being there. The training itself was actually pretty tough, as most of us on the team, our experience with the Book of Common Prayer was pretty much limited to Holy Eucharist on Sunday morning. So Connor was very, very patient with us in teaching us how to lead and, more importantly, plan the service. And that was a real challenge for a lot of us. Figuring out how to use the lectionary and to find the right collects and canticles, it was a big hurdle. And I got a call from one of the women on the team after the second training session who said, you know, Amanda, I really don't think this is going to be for me. I can't wrap my mind around planning the service. It's just too much. I don't think I'm going to be able to continue. So we talked for a while, and she decided to stick it out, and she completed the training, and now she's a full-fledged member of our team. She's still not comfortable leading the worship, and that's fine. I'm sorry, the red card just threw me off. But the good news is we have room for everybody on our team. We have room for people who are willing to be worship leaders, people who are willing to read lessons, and people who are willing to just accompany us to participate in the worship and to visit with the residents afterward. And just quickly, I'll let you know, too, I was worried about our reception at the facilities, and we've been really welcomed, and that's been amazing. There's one woman at one of the facilities who is a lifelong Episcopalian and a member of one of our local churches, but the facility that she lives in now is very far away from her home church. And she says her priest comes to visit on a regular basis, and she loves that, but she really has been missing worshiping in community. And to be a part of the team that is able to bring that worship community to her has just been really, really special for all of us. So to wrap it up, I think, really the success of this is based on the fact that we are coming from different churches and we're all working together. We're all really living into our baptismal covenant by seeking and serving Christ in others and loving others as our neighbor, by proclaiming the good news of God in Christ. And it's just been a wonderful journey, and we're really excited to see where it goes from here. So thank you.